Welcome back to another episode of Hard in the Paint. And yes, we are live. Arman, you are our first live guest. So you are the lucky one. You are the special one. You get to break us in. Colin, how you doing?
Doing well.
Listen,
how about
so
you?
I'm doing great, man. You know, I got a little rant as always. It's time for ISO. If you don't know, this is the segment where I just go one-on-one with you and I go on my little rant. So my first rant is Jordan Poole is not James Harden. I know we wanted that to happen. It sounded good, but listen, James Harden, besides the fuck shit, is generational, bro. He is an all-time scorer. He innovated the game. He is what the game is today. But Jordan Poole, yes, very talented offensively. But is he that guy? No. That fucking step back, turn around bullshit he tried to do on fucking Kristaps Porzingis, not Chris Paul. Kristaps Porzingis, and he fucking got blocked. That should have sent him to Valhalla, because I can't believe that he would do something so fucking criminal. I think that, to me, that's just bad basketball. That's not high IQ basketball. That's just laziness, and that's fuck shit. And that's why he got traded out of the fucking Golden State, because of his shot selection and what he was doing. So that was very disappointing to me, but Jordan Poole, we need to just get off this narrative that he's the next James Harden. We need to stop that fucking shit, first of all.
If he hit that shot, though, it would have been top 10 Sports Center like all week, where it's like, oh, look at this. He's outsmarting the whole defense. Jordan Poole, also saying like that he is going to be James Harden. Like every time we do this thing, we forget that like James Harden is like one of one. Like, yeah, his stock has never been lower right now. Yeah, everyone's shitting on him right now because he's team hopping and stuff. Still James Harden. It's hard to be James Harden.
That is a fact, and I agree with you. But like you said,
I did agree with you though when we were like the other week. We were like, yeah, he's the next James Harden.
So, yeah, I thought so too, and then I snapped right the fuck out of it. I was like, because you do have to think about it this way: James Harden, when he was on the Rockets, he changed that franchise, right? Mm-hmm. He changed everything. And we're like, oh, the Rockets are good.
I don't remember the Rockets that well before James Harden. Granted, I'm only 24, so I don't know how much.
Howard, Yao Ming era,
T-Mac, but.
Yeah,
in that gap,
you know what I mean.
It was just like, yo,
it wasn't the same.
But if you look at James Harden, right, he changed the Rockets who they were. Jordan Poole is not changing the Washington Wizards. Now, mind you, he just played the greatest starting five of all time, according to Jack Cody. So they got fucking blitz, but I don't think he's gonna change. He's gonna get a lot of shots. He's gonna score, but I don't think he's gonna change anything. But Arman, hip hop journalist, I'm glad to have you here. Introduce yourself for the people because we are live.
Absolutely. Arman Sadler, hip hop reporter at Vibe Magazine, host of Stay Busy with Arman Sadler, where we have responsible discussions on the entertainment business and entertainment culture. Wrestling fan, taco lover, the man that all your mothers want their daughters to be with.
Shout out all the MILFs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Or the guy that the moms want too, to be honest. But yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. Love talking sports. It's that time where we got NBA, NFL, and MLB, which is just overwhelming as fuck, but in all the best ways. So I'm loving it, man.
Yo, Dwight Howard. No, I'm joking. We might get to that in a second, but I think that I just want to say NBA is back, and it's been hurting my fucking soul. You know what I'm saying? I've been gambling crazy. These parlays are destroying my fucking life. Yeah. I can't get, you know what it is? Because I can hit a straight bet. You know what I'm saying? Easy. But the parlay is
what's
sexy.
The fun in that? Yeah.
What's the fun in that? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's been hurting my bank account. So that's not where the fun is at, But I think it's just interesting that like parlays, you can really bet on your phone. Mm-hmm. Like this is fucking crazy. Yeah. Like the addiction is, I'm really becoming an addict. So 1-800 get JBobby help. All right. So James Harden.
Oh man,
sir. Obviously generational talent, but he's been traded again. He forced his way out. I mean, this man could end wars because he could do anything. And I think that we have to be honest. Who won this trade? The Sixers or the fucking Clippers?
I feel like it depends how you look at it. I mean, the Clippers have on paper a roster that should win a championship. They won't.
Keywords on paper and should.
Yeah. They won't because, I mean, we've seen what they've done the last couple seasons. Granted, health. I'm not the type of guy who makes fun of injuries. They've had health problems. But I think if this was like 2015 with these guys, they'd be an undeniable, like, that they're going to win it all. Right now, I don't see it. Every team Harden has gone to, he's ruined. In a way, to be honest. Like, I mean, we saw what he did in Game 7 on the Sixers. The Nets, obviously, they had a lot of internal stuff. They didn't really get to fully put their nucleus of Kyrie, Durant, and Harden together. Then Harden wanted out. The Rockets, unfortunately, they ran into the Warriors. But I just at this point, I don't even know if he wants to win, to be honest. Like I really don't believe it anymore.
No other player has been in more successful situations than James Harden.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, like if you look at the rosters and the talent that he's had around him, it's been bar none. Like if you think about it, right, you play with KD again. Now you get to play with Russ again, and now you're playing with Kawhi and Paul George, right? And if you can't figure it out now, then it's over for you, bro.
Yeah.
You had every opportunity to play with great players, and now you're at this point in your career where you're older, you're not the same scorer you used to be, and now people are realizing that you've been this toxic cancer this whole time because, you've been producing, but at the same time, like the minute something goes wrong, you cry, and you're like, oh, trade me.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, it's like, I heard people saying it's like after this contract, people don't think James Harden will get another contract again.
I don't know why any team would take that gamble. I mean, I do think he would fit well with the Miami Heat, but I don't know if they would do it. I think they really believe in that team they have. Bring Harden in could, fuck it up, to be honest. So this is really it. Like he's got to get it done in LA.
What did you say about the Miami Heat?
What
did you say before with James Harden Miami Heat?
That he might ruin them?
They're already ruined, but we're gonna get to that.
Oh boy. No, I mean, I think I really don't get. I feel like the Clippers never needed James Harden. Like he's really like a offensive facilitator. Like they needed they needed a drive and kick guy last year because John Wall wasn't cutting it, and that's why they got Russ. And it worked out well. They were cooking in the playoffs until everybody got hurt. The thing is, like, if they're gonna play together, the only way it works out is if Harden goes back to being, all right, I will be a catch and shoot guy. I will play off ball, because he can do that. He just chooses not to because he likes to have the ball in his hands. Russ cannot shoot worth a damn. He cannot do that. So Russ has to. The only way it works is if Russ is the point guard and Harden is the shooting guard, and he accepts that he's going to catch and shoot and move off ball and stuff like that. But I mean, all the signs have shown that he just says, no, I don't want to do that. So I don't get it. I think they should have just like kept their depth, and Harden can say as many times as he wants, I want to be a Clipper, and the Clippers don't have to trade for him.
Listen, man, I feel like this trade was like great for both parties because you get rid of James Harden. Like he didn't want to be there. Like that relationship is cooked.
No, he didn't want to be there.
No,
you were able to snuff that
out. But I think that to me, Tyrese Maxey is better than James Harden. And I think that because the way he's been playing right now, I think what you needed from James Harden, I think what you needed from James Harden at this point in his career is scoring. You don't need him to be the facilitator, because I think that in this league and the way it's built and how you got to play these teams, you need people to score. And when James Harden had to step up and be that scorer, he did one game, but he couldn't continue that. And that was a problem. So Maxey right now, he's young. He's good to build on. And I think he's playing at a high level, and he plays well with Embiid. Like, I think that was the best situation possible. I think with the Clippers, they know that their guys is older. They're getting hurt a lot, and this is the last ditch effort to do anything, right? Because hypothetically, if Kawhi or George gets hurt, one of the two, you have James Harden now filling that role. Yeah, you got to figure it out, but that's culture. Like, you got 4 guards now. What the fuck you gonna do with that? And it's kind of like Russ is in a situation where, like, he got traded. He was in a bit of a situation, and people was like, "Oh, look, it wasn't him. It was the Lakers." So now he's in a different situation. Now he has a full year to prove it, but now you have James Harden. So I'm interested to see how their relationship is going to pan out through the rest of the season. So
it's so funny to me that this is their third time playing together on a third different team. Like, that's just so funny to me. Russ and Harden just always find their way back to each other.
They love each other, bro. and 2 peas in a pod, baby.
Oh my God.
Do you think that Joel Embiid should be moved from the 76ers?
I've been a very hard critic of the Sixers for years, because every season the media is like, this is their year. Sixers fans are delusionally confident, like, oh, we're gonna win it all, and then they don't get it done. And Embiid has leveled up a lot. Like last season, the last few seasons, he's been amazing. I don't see them doing it this with the way the East is constructed right now. The Celtics look amazing, the Bucks as well, and the Sixers always tend to choke in the playoffs. So I do see a reality where Embiid ends up leaving at some point. Where he goes, I don't know. I could see him going to Golden State perhaps one day. That'd be crazy.
That would be wild.
That'd be crazy. But I do feel like the way this season will likely end for them, he's going to be very unhappy. And if they can't bring someone there for him, even like you said, they have Maxey, who's great. But beyond that, they ain't got shit. So I do think he's going to be unhappy and eventually end up leaving.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Bucks and the Celtics are just going to beat the pulp out of them. It's just the way it is. Those teams both got way better. The Sixers, Maxey's going to step up, but like they didn't get better this year, like by any means. So yeah, I think it's going to be tough sledding. But at the end of the day, like you have a guy like Maxey, and if Embiid said, like, you don't trade Embiid until Embiid says, I want to get the hell out of here. Yeah. But if that does happen and you trade him, there are a lot worse situations to be in where you have Tyrese Maxey. You just got a couple of picks. You get a couple more picks and a couple young stars. Like there's a lot worse situations like to be in. Like if they do trade Embiid, because I cover the Nets, that's my team. Like they traded Durant, and now they have this war chest of assets. And like, it sucks because you're not a contender anymore. But the rebuild is fast tracked, and they have a chance to do that if they want to.
That's a very bright future.
So Celtics or the Clippers, who have the most talented starting five?
Celtics.
Yeah, I gotta go Celtics too.
Yeah, Celtics. I wanted to disagree. I wanted to be that guy and go against the grain, but I think the Celtics, they look phenomenal. Like they're gelling. And I feel like with the Clippers, they look great on paper. But I just think playing wise, they're not going to be better than the Celtics. I don't think that team gels. I don't think that shit makes sense. And like I think that Harden and Russ are going to have some type of beef down this line. Russ is going to have some type of thing where he says, yo, fuck the Clippers, fuck LA, fuck everything that they've done.
Think?
Yeah, because like, yo, bro, I think, and logically, who do you have? Who do you start? James Harden or Russ? I start James Harden. Like,
I think I'm starting Russ just because he was there first, and it's a little bit of a respect thing.
You can't do that because James Harden's going to start complaining, and then the cancer's going to start.
Who cares, bro?
You just traded for him. You have
I know.
to care.
If he wants to bro, you want it to come here. You're going to play by our rules now, is the way I'm saying.
And he can find his way out.
and he can do that. Like, you know what I mean?
But then again, it's just like, if this happens and it just goes wrong, right? Like, what do the Clippers do from there? Do they just clear house and rebuild? Because they get in a brand new stadium, they gotta sell tickets. You know what I mean? At that point, do you just build it up and then just blow it up at this point? Because like James Harden has to be the focal point at this point, right? You traded him, and like you knew Russ wasn't enough. Like Russ is a good player, then that means Russ has to come off the bench. I think so, because I think you gave up too much.
Probably one of them does, because like I said before, like their play styles are too similar. But I just think Russ is in more of a position of power than Harden should be. Harden literally begged 4 months to be traded there. Finally got it done. You don't get to like beggars cannot be choosers. And that's what Harden is right now.
Harden doesn't play by those rules.
You're right. You're right.
And he's been awarded. Like he's the only one.
Ty Lue is up to. Well, Ty Lue will be the guy to watch then.
James Harden is the only player to fail up. Like literally. Like and then he keeps getting in these good situations. I'm just like, yo, this man he's phenomenal. I think we should applaud him.
Windhorst said like he should have like an agency when he retires where he like helps players like get to certain situations, because he is a god at this shit. Like, it's impressive.
Should have helped Dame, but Dame it worked out for Dame.
It worked out
very well.
Yeah, can't complain.
Giannis said this is his team.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, bro.
Cap.
That was cute.
It was Giannis part 500 of trying to say, "Oh, look at me, I'm the good guy. Let me just, go out of my way."
I'm glad people are starting to see behind the curtain with Giannis
shit, right?
and his fake humble.
Is the knock jokes drive me insane. Like, bro, like stop trying to act all cute. You just hurt two of my guys like in a playoff series.
Yeah. Like, he's ridiculous.
He is the NBA Russell Wilson, bro.
Yeah, like literally where they're like, "Yo, stop kissing babies. Stop making knock jokes every day." Like.
Giannis is
sorry, I hate corny like humor. So
it
strikes a nerve with me.
Giannis is the NBA Russell Wilson. I'm telling you
that. But good take.
But anyway, bro. All right. Before we get into the real shit, I just want to say yesterday was Halloween.
Yes,
and who were you?
So this weekend at my party, I was Dr. Eggman from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay,
so I was the villain on Saturday, and then for actual Halloween, I was Sonic. So I was the hero on Halloween. So I gave people both sides of me. Got a lot of compliments on my costume from older white women, a couple of women my age, but it was a big hit. We got a costume contest for work with like $1,000 prize. I'm like, I need that. So I went hard this year. I usually don't do costumes. I'm very lazy.
Yeah.
I might do some DIY stuff, but I actually like bought 2 costumes this year, so it was fun.
Yeah, shout out to the older white women helping confidence. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
Truly,
hell yeah.
cornerstone.
We appreciate y'all.
Now I was gonna ask you, who were you? Did you
I was see, I'm of your party where like I don't do costume, but this was like the first year where I was like I can just like throw something together, and like I got like my hair's not nearly as wavy as his, but it's just close enough where I just threw on like a white t-shirt and I did the apron and I was if you watch The Bear.
Yes,
and like as soon yes, chef. I was gonna say I went over to Hoboken on Saturday actually, like to go to a party, and as soon as I hopped off the passing guy was like, "Yo, chef," and I was like, "Yes, chef."
There you go,
like, cousin.
Cousin.
So you're not even Italian.
Nah, not at all.
But that's a great show, by the way. Shout out to Bear.
Did you dress up this year?
Yo, so on Friday, I was a Best Buy employee. Not a Best Buy, excuse me. A Blockbuster employee. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I had to throw it back for nostalgia. So, you know, if you're at home, if you're watching now, if your movies are late, just keep them. And then a Saturday, I was a butcher. You know what I'm saying? You know, a killer, but not a real killer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, bad for content. But nobody saw it because I didn't take any pictures. So I'm gonna wear it again next year. But Paul George, he dressed up as Waldo, right? And I think that people are preying on Paul George's downfall because they were saying, where is Paul George? And this is going to hit like crack in the 70s in May when he just disappears or gets hurt or the Clippers just lose in some type of way. And I feel like it's so funny because everybody was mentioning that in the comments, but also like if you look at the bookmarks, as soon as it got posted, it hit 5K bookmarks. And then like an hour later, it was over 10K bookmarks. So people are just waiting to clown Paul George and the Clippers, and people are not buying the Clippers. So I think that obviously with everything that's going on, should we just count the Clippers out now at this point?
I mean, expect disappointment, and you'll never be disappointed. So I mean, like I'm not a Clippers fan, so it's not like my like heart is in it. But like, you know, like it's almost like them doing that. It's like it sucks when you like expect your team to like win it all. Like if you expect that they're, it's the Clippers and then they do win it all. It's like, oh, how about that? You know what I mean? So
I actively root against them. When they came together and they were talking about they were the best team in the Western Conference. Meanwhile, the Lakers were the 1 seed in the West. And then they, give up the 3-1 lead, and Paul George is like, "Oh, it wasn't a win or bust season for us," and naming himself Playoff P when he was with the Thunder. Like he honestly brought all this on himself when he nicknamed himself. No one called that nigga Playoff P. I don't know anyone.
They called him Pandemic P.
Bro, honestly, like no one ever called him Playoff P, and he did have some great playoff performances for the Pacers and all that. But ever since then, like. Does Paul George have a signature playoff series? Maybe the Western Conference Finals against the Suns, where he had to carry the Clippers because Kawhi was hurt, and they actually made the Western Conference Finals finally. But like, he ain't done shit since then. So yeah, no, he deserves all the slander that he's going to get. I think that James Harden will be a big part of why the Clippers don't go as far as they should. But Paul George is definitely getting slander for me. Absolutely.
It's funny because you have like all the guys like Russ, PG, and like Harden, like guys who are like well known for being like great players, like future Hall of Famers, but like not good playoff performers. Yeah. And then you have Kawhi, who like his like number, like his all-time like scoring stuff like that, like he's not that high up because he's like missed games and missed. But like when it comes to the playoffs, there's
killer.
I don't know if I'm taking a guy ahead of Kawhi right now, fully healthy in the playoffs. Yeah. It's weird that is like the dynamic on the team right now, where it might end up being Kawhi carrying these guys who have always just been like in the corner, like, oh, I need a title, please, like help me out, please.
Which could work out for them if things go well. Like you got Russ and James who can cook throughout the regular season, and then you got Kawhi. But again, it's all about the health, and that's the one reason that makes me think maybe they'll get there is because if they like. Their depth is gone, not totally gone. It's actually crazy that they held on to Norman Powell, who I think is great. But like they're gonna be able to stagger minutes between those 4 guys, so I think they have a better chance to get there than like fully healthy than they have had in the past.
Listen, man, that Paul George meme is gonna go triple platinum in the hood. So good luck with that, bro. Yeah. So top 5 teams after week 1. This is interesting, and I'm gonna give you my top 5 teams, right? So at number 1. We're just going to go with the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, we have to. They've just been smoking people. Of course. Been nasty. I'm scared of Jokic, man. Europeans. Celtics at number 2. They beat the shit out of the Wizards. What they did. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown was like 8 for 12 from 3 the other night. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
He also had a bad game against the Knicks, and they still won. And that shows you how deep they are.
Exactly. Worth every dollar. All right, I'm gonna go with the Bucks at 3. I think how Dame and like Giannis. Sorry, I see Giannis chemistry has been pretty quick and has been well, and they figured it out. I think like he's relieving some of the pressures off Giannis, and Giannis is understanding that. He's loving it. At 4, the Sixers. Wow. I think the Sixers should have won that game against the Bucks. And I think they looked impressive to me. And I think what they've been doing, the chemistry, I think that they are a good team and they don't have the distractions anymore. But this is week 1. Mm-hmm. So don't get your panties in the bunch. But I have the Sixers at 4. At 5, drum roll, please. The Mavericks. Mm-hmm. You know, I think 3-0. I think with Luka.
Nets should have beat them. Huh? Nets should have beat them.
It sound good. But nah, Luka's just the reason why they didn't because Luka's unreal.
Yeah.
And I think that I think he's taking a step forward somehow. I think he's just getting better. I feel like this is probably the best team that they had so far. I have them at 5 for week 1. So I'm gonna let y'all cook now. What do you got?
Yeah, Nuggets, Boston. I'm gonna go the Mavericks at 3, the Bucks at 4, and what do I want to put at 5? I think I'm gonna go OKC. OKC's been looking really good to me. I really love that young core. Shai continues to elevate. I got a lot of faith in Chet. So, yeah, I'm going to go OKC, the dark horse.
Chet's been kind of disappointing me. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, man, take some time. This is his first real season, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's not what I expected.
I feel like he's going to turn it around.
Well, Jokic says he needs to get fat.
I did. So I think we're all the same. We got Denver 1, Boston 2. After that, I did Golden State 3. I think Steph, like Luka's been playing crazy. Steph's been playing crazy too. You know, they got Wiggins back. People forgot how big of a deal it was when he wasn't there last year. Chris Paul's had some good moments off the bench.
He made a good point. We both said, when people do that, you're like, yeah, that's a great point.
They've had some good wins. The only team they lost to was the Suns on opening night, and that was by 4. And that was the only time the Suns had booked this year. So Warriors at 3. I did the Bucks at 4. That's kind of one where it's like I don't exactly like love what I've seen from them thus far. But again, it's like week 1, so like I assume they're gonna like figure it out. I've seen enough to where I'm like, all right, they're gonna be a fucking juggernaut. It'll be fine. I did the Mavs at 5. Just, they haven't lost yet. Luka, like Steph, looks incredible right now. I like the moves they made. Derek Lively looks sick, by the way. He's like great. Only in spurts, but like, yeah, I think
he's better than Wemby.
Luka might have the best pick and roll partner he has ever had. Even like because Porzingis just did not want to, roll to the basket. He wanted to be a big small forward. Derek Lively's a versatile, fast, athletic big. Yeah. I like what they're doing.
He's been working. Yeah, the Warriors were a tough one to leave off because like they're always a threat, like no matter what. But I feel like Steph has been like, wow, like Chris Paul's been playing well and Wiggins has been playing well. It feels like Steph has been having to really carry, and that's like, it's a little concerning for me.
It is.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
putting the team on his back.
Yeah,
making Dillon Brooks look stupid.
That was crazy.
But you at home, you know what I'm saying? We love feedback. We know you're watching. Please let us know your top 5 teams right now. We want your overreactions too. We want to know what you disagree with. You know what I mean? If you want to tell us right now, just let us know. But that is my top 5, and I think that Philly is going to stay in that top 5.
I don't think Kelly Oubre is having another.
I'm not.
What do you have like? Say yeah, that's how they almost beat the Bucks. He had like 27 points or something.
He was cooking.
Tsunami Poppy. Top 5 nickname in the league.
Tsunami Poppy. Yeah,
that is pretty fire.
I like it. That's fitting for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He has a name like a player that used to be on the Hornets. All right. Katie, trade request, right? What do you think Katie will have a trade request to now? Because I think that obviously, Devin Booker's hurt, Bradley Beal's hurt, and we didn't think that this was going to happen so soon.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to be a little bit down the line. And the person you didn't think was going to get hurt, he got hurt. So no Book last night, no Bill, and they lost to Wemby.
And they don't have a timetable for either of their returns.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like, while watching that last play where they trapped him and took like it was demoralizing for me. Like, I'm not a Suns fan. I fuck with KD.
Oh, when he like ripped the ball out last night.
Like, damn, that's tough, bro. Like, it's fucking hell.
Like taking candy from a baby.
Spurs cooked at the end too. Like, they really roared back, and like I like put in a bet on the Spurs money line too. I was like, just in case, just in case. Like the last few minutes, or I think at the beginning of the fourth quarter, I was like, just in case, and then it actually happened. I was like, damn, bro. KD.
You can't even watch basketball no more normally. It was just like parlay. Bro, no, straight bet, my bad. Like
it's so stressful, especially like when I was out this weekend. I was opening my phone, checking my bets every so often, like buying drinks, making sure the party was going well, checking bets. Like it's very toxic.
That is crazy to me. Vegas won.
Yeah,
they just won. Yeah, like we just all addicts right now. But so the Suns hit the panic button, right? Because you see what happened last night. They shouldn't have lost to the Spurs. And I feel like KD has been very streaky as of late. And it's early in the season, obviously, but he's having to carry. Now, they were up 20. You know what I mean? So they're still in a good position. The Suns are still a good team. But I think that when you think about championships aspirations, I don't think that team beats the Nuggets.
No.
Like, like at this point, you invested so much into Bill and Book and KD. And it's just like, and I want to do this. I don't want to get in trouble again. I know people don't like talking about people's legacies and things like that, but I think it is alarming in some facet because like of the teams, like he's another OKC boy.
Yeah,
and that whole trio, what's going on over there? That 30 for 30 is going to smack. It's going to smack. But I just think that the Suns, I don't think they're winning anything.
I look at the Suns right now, and with the problems with the depth and the injuries, and KD being like 35 and having to carry when he shouldn't have to, it's all the things that I saw going on in the Nets, and it was like, oh, he's gonna ask out again. Like he doesn't want to be here. Like how could he want to be here? All those things are again happening, and that sucks. But also, I'm not blaming KD for that though, because he's not the GM, he's not the owner, he's not super aggressive Matt Ishbia who came in and said we're gonna tear up the new CBA and we're gonna trade for all these new guys. Like he's there, and like now he's out carrying. Like you should have let KD stick and like roll with the depth. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't. He had depth in Golden State, and they won that way. I mean they had stars too, but that front office is the cream of the crop of the league. So I don't know. I don't blame KD, but it is like it sucks that this happened to him. But it is alarming. It's the exact same situation that he had in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's not sustainable, and it's tough because when we look back in like 10 years, we're going to see you had Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, you had Kyrie and James Harden, and people may not remember all of the internal stuff or injuries or the fact that, like you said, there's a lack of depth there. So definitely not his fault, but I don't fully believe in the Suns either, which is crazy to say about a team that has Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. I don't see it for them. I think they'll be a fringe top 4 team in the West, but I don't.
They'll be a team that if they're healthy, like for sure nobody wants to play, but it's just like the red flags are all coming way too early. So that the lacking trust is totally warranted.
Yeah. And that's crazy that we're in this era. Like I was when I saw the news about Harden to the Clippers, I was like, yo, like these rosters that we're seeing multiple rosters of teams that like you would build through a fantasy draft if you were playing 2K as a kid. Like I want that guy, that guy, and we're gonna win because I have these stars, and not even think about your
it's
entire
literally
roster.
Like I remember and doing this in Madden too, because like you don't play like a franchise multiple years because like you just buy the next game the next year, so you don't give a rat's ass about those draft picks.
Exactly.
So when I was a kid, because I'm a Giants fan and I loved Eli growing up, I used to trade all my picks. Makes no sense at all, so that I could have Eli and Peyton on the same team together, and I would start one each half. 0 cents, but it was fun. That's the NBA now, I guess.
Yeah.
The Suns should hit the panic button. But anyway, listen, this is a game we play fraud or not. You know what I'm saying? This is live, so you can play at home too. Also, I feel like since it's live, we need like the laugh track or something. You know what I'm saying? In front of a live studio audience, and there's people. There's no live studio, just people putting in laugh track. I always thought that was cool. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
But the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it was actually live. You know that, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of fire. But it's just like if you fuck up a scene, you just see people there just watching you. I feel like that would be annoying. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
But anyway, little tangent. Fraud or not, right? Wembanyama.
Hell nah. He looks fucking. I've already seen like 5 plays that I've been like, huh? Like, how would you do that, buddy? Like he's playing. Looks like he's playing on a little tight coop.
I'm not gonna lie, man. People might hate me for this. I've chosen to be a Wemby hater.
Ooh, okay, explain.
I've all of the acclaim, the hype coming into the season. I'm just like, yeah, he played in the preseason, but like we haven't really seen him. Like obviously they played like 4 games right now so far, and you know he's made some, like he can shoot pretty well defensively. He's great. He's very difficult. You know, definitely a focal point on the court. I feel like the Spurs, his teammates aren't like using him enough. But even with that, I just want to be a hater. Like honestly, like
anytime someone builds a guy up, it's like your natural reaction to be like, hey.
And it's like it's
like balance things out.
And I agree with the notion that he can one day be the greatest player ever, but we got to give that time. So people putting these labels on him now, I'm hating. So I'm gonna call him a fraud simply out of my irrational hate.
I don't know. This is tricky for me. Wembanyama, his first 3 games, look, I just feel like if this person is supposed to be the greatest player ever, generational, changing the game, I expected more. Because out of his first, comparing him to Bron, we have to, because if the GOAT, whatever.
That's what everyone's doing.
LeBron had over 20 points in his first 2 games. Like, like 20 points. Like, that's impressive. Like, Wembanyama, he's struggling to score, minutes, foul trouble, shit like that. Yeah. It's been kind of like, and he's had flashy moments where you're like, oh, shit. But he's also, 7'4"? So you kind of like expect that. Like he made KD look little and KD was somehow shooting over him. Yeah. And like that kind of like alarmed me a little bit. He had 3 blocks last night. So he's going to be a nightmare on the defensive side when he gets it going. But it's just like, here's my thing. Wembanyama can be a good player or he could be the next Shaq, but better. If he puts on Victor Wembanyama, I can't still go. Victor Wembanyama.
You can just call him Vic.
I can't even talk right now. Wembanyama. All right. I think that Victor can be the next Shaq or better. And the reason why I think that if he puts on some muscle and he gets bigger, he's gonna dominate, bro. Yeah. It's gonna be fucking scary. And right now he's so frail that he can't push people around, right? And I can't expect him to do that now because he is 19. But when he puts on that fucking muscle, it's going to be fucking scary because who the fuck is going to stop that? It's going to be overbearing. But he can also still be KD in terms of like KD was like, wait till KD puts on some muscle. And KD never put on muscle. So I think that we have to kind of think about that too. But I think it's going to be scary for the league if he becomes that menacing figure in the weight room and like how Giannis was. Giannis was skinny as fuck. Yeah. And then when Giannis got in that weight room and he started to hammer down and like now he's unstoppable. So I think it could be something along those lines, but just a taller version. So he's not a fraud. I'm not going to call him a fraud. So
yeah, I mean, I also know we can't look down the future, but like it is week 1 of his first season. Like you made the point about like him not averaging 20 points. Like he could average 30 points for the year, and like no one's going to give a fuck if he averaged like 15. But again, there's nothing we can do about that right now. So
Jimmy Butler in the Miami Heat. Fraud or not?
I mean, in the regular season, maybe. In the playoffs, I sure as hell don't want to play them.
Yeah. I don't really judge them for their regular season play ever because we've seen what they can do as a 5 seed, as a playing team. So, I mean, I don't even know if this is fraud. I think this is just who they are. Like, like they are regular season shaky, and then you see them in the playoffs and.
I'm going to say no because I just think the playoffs is where it matters the most. And if you're that guy in the playoffs, you're not a fraud. Yeah, so exactly.
I'm going to say fraud. I think they're scaring me. I think that Jimmy Butler, right, he said that we're going to go and beat all of them after the trade, right? He didn't give a fuck. He's going to beat fucking Giannis and fucking Adrian Griffin. He didn't give a fuck because he had that relationship. And when they played the other night, I expected so much intensity out of him. And like I get it, Bam wasn't there. I understand that, but Tyler Hero had like 30 plus.
Tyler Hero was balling. Yeah.
And the energy I seen from Jimmy Butler wasn't the same energy and intensity that I expected out of him in that game. Because you can have a shit game, but how you're playing and how you're like rebounding or like diving for balls or just your presence on the court. It wasn't there. It was just like, we're just playing the Bucks and we're getting our ass fucking handed to us. Like, it was to the point where it was like down the stretch and like I think they made a run and they didn't even put him in the fucking game. So is he hurt? What is going on? Like, I don't understand what's going on with the Miami Heat, and they didn't make any moves to get better. They got worse. Yeah. So at this point, I want to say I'm not buying them, and then they go make a fucking run or some shit like that. But at this point, like, even if they do, they're not winning the championship. Right?
I feel like they, just for the fact that they also like, you didn't get any good players, so that hurts you too. But I think it hurts like they got a fucking tough like collective like mentality, like locker room. So I don't think their locker room is gone at all. But I feel like it's in the back of everyone's mind where like they spent an entire summer thinking they were going to get Damian Lillard, and then for a little while, oh, what about Harden? Is Hero in and out? I feel like there just has to be like a little bit like thing in the back of their mind where they're like, we're not as good as we could have been, or like the front office didn't go full throttle. Why should we go full throttle? I feel like that's tough to escape no matter how, like, we talk about distractions and stuff like that all the time. Maybe it's not a distraction because it's not ongoing, but it's definitely maybe like a little bit of a nag. So I can see that being a problem.
All right. Scoot Henderson, fraud or not? Now, let me read you the stat line, right? 11, 7, 4, 11. That's points. I'm not going to read you the whole thing, but let's look at the 3 points, right? His first game, 0 from 3. His second game, 1 for 5. His third game, 0 for 4. His fourth game, 0 for 6. Bro, he's made what, 1 3?
I think he's one of 18.
Out of 4 games, he made 1 3. I don't know, buddy. I mean, going from Dame to that's poverty.
Blazers are pretty hopeless as is. So, but yeah, no, that's very fraud like.
As J. Cole said, I'm hopeless. I mean, is it?
I want to see how he plays with Anthony Simons out for a little while. Maybe there's a little more room to find his groove. I mean, me, you, and Gio were all singing the praises of Scoot all off season. He looked great during the summer league. He looked great during the preseason. Maybe the lights are too bright. Maybe that's playing in the G League. Not used to this.
Maybe that team just sucks.
They do.
That could be it. That could be
like. I mean, you missing threes is not on them as well. But yeah. I
also I have not watched a whole lot of Scoot. Like we're here in New York. I'm not staying up for Blazer games every night, honestly. So,
but then again, I'm like, is Wemby's stat line that much better? Like, and realistically, I think Wemby's made a lot of like, oh shit plays, but that's because he's like,
I mean, he's averaging 15 plus right now. I think his percentages are good.
There's just
the
more
defense
flash.
Is there too. Yeah, the flash.
So yeah, he had 21 against the Rockets, but it's the Rockets. But that's still impressive. That's still 12 rebounds against the Rockets, and then from there he had 11 against the Clippers and then 5 rebounds, and then he had 18 and 8 against the Suns last night, which he had like a putback towards the end of the game, which was like. I mean, 8 rebounds is pretty good, but like for him, I expect him to get like 15 rebounds. Like, bro, like you're fucking. How are you getting 8 rebounds?
He should break like some sort of rookie rebounding record, whether it's offensive,
like 5 rebounds in a game. 5.
He's the first
one.
He might even have to reach down at some point, depending on how it nicks off the rim.
Oh man, it's been kind of frustrating. Right now. I'm not betting on you ever again. All right, frauds or not. The Cleveland Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is not a fraud. Let's just
no.
But their Cavs, they're the Knicks of the Midwest.
What did you say before? They're the Knicks, but
they're reverse. They're
the Knicks.
They're the Knicks, but they can't beat the Knicks.
I like that.
The Cleveland Cavaliers are the Knicks, but they can't beat the Knicks.
Yeah.
And my thing is like, they're a good team, and they're gonna work hard, and they're gonna win some games, and they're cool, but are they going to win a championship? Are they going to make a run? No.
I've been a big Evan Mobley guy, but I'm starting to lean a little bit, like, just because how he was talking about, he was like, yeah, this is a big game for us. Like, we want to come in and like beat them. And then I think he played 20 plus minutes and he had 6 points the other night. Like Evan Mobley has me a little bit concerned. I mean, granted, Jared Allen, Darius Garland didn't play against the Knicks last night. 2 important guys there, but you definitely would have liked to see more. I think they're 1-3 now, 1-4, 1-3. I think It's the same thing where you talked about with the Lakers, where they were like all off season. You should have been thinking about this team, and like, did they like what's good? Like they came out and they just like got the crap beat out of them. Like you need. How do you need any more motivation?
Amani Bates looked good last night. I just want to tell you
the truth. Shots.
The second coming of KD, Amani Bates is here. If you won't admit it, slowly but surely, you're gonna be that guy. But Lakers fan?
Yes, sir.
I'm only there because I'm for Bron. I'm just letting you know.
I mean, me too. To be honest, I do love AD though. I'm a huge AD defender. The narratives about him get pretty old, pretty annoying. I also love Austin Reeves. Just shout out my boy Reeves. Okay. But yeah, Bron
can barely get fucking 10 points, but yes. All right. So fraud or not, the Los Angeles Lakers?
No, I am delusionally confident in their capabilities of winning a championship every single year. We're a rough start, shaking off the cobwebs, but no, not frauds.
The Lakers have not been impressive at all. They have been disappointing, and AD has looked good, except for the first game, but he's looking pretty solid. I like AD a lot, what he's been doing. Obviously, LeBron is old, and I can't lie. We can't put too much on him. I think he's getting that pass at this point.
It's very jarring.
But when you have 19 against the Magic, I don't give a fuck. It's the fucking Magic. Out of 19, is not doing. They won the game.
Yeah,
I don't get it. LeBron is going to have rebounds. He's going to have assists. He's going to have that stat line. Yeah. He's LeBron James. But I just think that when you lose to the Kings, who are a good team, but you should have beat them. Just to set the tone. And they went into overtime, I think. And then you barely beat the fucking Magic. I don't like where this is going. Because I think at my mind, everybody's like, it's early. It's the first week. I do not give a fuck. I need the Lakers to win and be good now. Because when you have this type of like laziness, or you're like, all right, I'm going to get into that mode later, I think that affects the team. And I don't think they have much room for hiccups. I think they have to pace this up. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. Beautiful. But at the same time, we need to kick something into gear where we're like, all right, we're good. We know we're good, and we gel. Because D'Lo was saying, like, well, we haven't had a full training camp to get right, but we felt the chemistry. Now you had a full camp. Now you had a full training camp. So now I need to see where the chemistry is at now. We need to pick this shit up now and get the ball fucking rolling. And if it's not LeBron doing it, somebody else has to step up in that group. We signed Rui, we gave him the bag. We signed Reeves, we gave him the bag. 10 points is not cutting it for that. It's not. We need a third scorer. We need somebody to step up. D'Lo, you're on fucking thin ice. I'm gonna make the call, and you did ball out. You had over 23 points. You know,
he's hit or miss. He's hit or miss.
Shout out to bettors, but I need him to hit. I don't need the miss. You know what I'm saying? You can hit a miss in fucking Utah or some shit, because that's where you're gonna be. So we need to step the fuck up. But right now, the Lakers are frauds to me right now.
I mean, I said this offseason, I think the Lakers had a better offseason than anyone else, so I'm not going to call them total fraud, but I'll call them. I'm definitely worried. The team I'm watching now, which are some of the mental mistakes they've made, it feels more like the regular season team we saw last year. Yeah. It does not look like the team that beat the Warriors in the playoffs. Again, week one, though. So, yeah, a little bit concerned.
Yeah. All right. Fraud or not, Dwight Howard. No, I'm joking. But we're about to wrap this up. Any closing thoughts?
Ben Simmons is looking better. Cam Thomas is him. I've been telling everyone. I've been talking about Cam Thomas since he was a rookie, and people were saying like, "Oh, like he doesn't play defense. He doesn't have any core vision." He's doing both those things right now. Second youngest player in NBA history to average 30 plus for his first 3 games. Cam Thomas is here, ladies and gentlemen.
As much as I love the NBA, what happened to my NBA? The 2 best players right now are both white. This is Dr. Umar.
The Europeans are different though.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
they're scary.
Yeah. It's
I mean, we did have Bird back in the day. They're trying to restore the feeling.
Bird was there, yeah. But for a while we had Bron, we had KD, we had Giannis, and now it's Jokic and Luka. I do love Luka though.
You love Luka.
I've been calling Luka Cena because he reminds me of 2003 John Cena.
I wasn't a big fan. I don't like John Cena. I think John Cena was like I won't say racist, but I just didn't like the jean short shit that he was doing. Like, I just felt like I was super corny.
Not liking John Cena makes you racist.
What?
I will not explain.
Go on.
But not liking John Cena makes you racist.
Oh, all right.
I never watched that wrestling, so I'm out.
But yeah, I love Luka. I honestly think he could be MVP this year.
I shouted when he beat the Nets on a one-armed at the buzzer, throw it off the backboard, because he made like 5 threes before that, and I was like, all right, this is like the Nets curse right now. And then I was like, I'm going to bed.
Bro, that was insane.
Jokic, Luka, fuck it, Christian McCaffrey, greatest right running back ever, and he's the face of the league.
What is going on?
I don't know. We lose the recipes, but the black quarterback is here, man. You got to trade something. Now, we out of here. Hard in the paint. Thanks for joining us on live. Make sure you follow, subscribe, share, tell a friend, support us. Does JBobby make you angry? Well, that's good. Let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe, baby.